Have you ever wondered what makes Future's music so catchy and why he's able to stay relevant for over a decade plus? It's because he realized this one fundamental attribute, and that is melody, or should I say, nursery rhymes. You see, early on, Future's music wasn't getting plays on a global scale outside of the South. Him being a close relative to one of the founders of the legendary Atlanta music collective, the Dungeon family, exposed him to what he truly needed in order to make it in the music industry. He needed hits. He needed records that would appeal to his hometown and be massive enough to be recognized on a global scale. It wasn't until he tried something different on the song Racks by YC that he realized what he was missing. At the time, music was making a transition. After 808s and Heartbreaks dropped, the sound began to shift and artists were getting inspired to experiment with auto-tune. The artists from the South didn't have label restrictions like many major artists did. Many Southern artists took it upon themselves to team up together and create mixtapes consistently. They teamed up with producers off the internet and were buying beats off of SoundClick and making mixtapes and uploading them on DatPiff and live mixtapes. Future realized that the lyrical, miracle, spiritual music is not what the club wanted. So upon seeing that record blow up into the mainstream, he figured out the code, and that was nursery rhymes.
Man, the craziest shit I just thought about, I was thought about London Bridge falling down. London Bridge falling down, falling down, falling down. When you love music and you love melody and you understand melody, shit like that, you love those nursery rhymes. You understand them and you understand the melody. Like, that's where you get melody from. But when you love music, you go back to those. Like me understanding melody, that's why I made songs like good shit like you can see this melody 10 years from now, people gonna look like, man, you saying that good shit like
He realized that in order to make records that would stick into people's heads, he had to bring it back to the basics of learning. You see, when we were children, we learned the ABCs and the 1, 2, 3s a lot better when there was rhythm, melody, and repetition attached to it. The most notable producers that live by these fundamentals are Max Martin and Kanye West. Even though he was on the hook of the song, it was enough to convince him to change his approach and double down on that sound and increase his output. He created countless mixtape series and became one of the most hottest artists in the world. He became one of the most in-demand songwriters because of his ability to create catchy music. He began writing for many major artists such as Sierra, Beyonce, Drake, and Kanye West, while still working with Southern artists. Throughout the last decade, he released countless mixtapes, but in a span of 11 months, he released 3 classic mixtapes, 2 albums, and expanding his sound by collaborating and working with producers like Metro Boomin, Southside, Mike Will Made It, Wheezy, and Zaytoven. He knew he'd have a catchy song no matter how much the sound of music changes because he finally cracked the code. That's why he's still around. So what's your favorite Future song? Because I've always wondered.